Lime, duh. Yeah. Let's do it again, baby. Hello. Woo.
Stupid.
Okay, all right.
Stupid.
That's not kind, everybody. Welcome to the Comedians Wrestling Podcast, the podcast where comedians dissect the wrestling to an unhealthy degree. I am your host, the host who is the most viral stand-up about professional wrestling, Dan Black.
Someone you idolize.
A.K.A. Donsky Blackamora, a.k.a. Papa Oat Milk, a.k.a. the King of Iron Fist Hawaii, a.k.a. the modern day goof and spoof Raja.
I'm going to tear the living shit out of you.
Sammy Guevara.
A.k.a. what am I doing? Coming at you like Cleopatra, baby. Gabba, wee.
Gabba,
Yeah.
wee, gabba,
Oh.
gay, gabba.
Monday Night Raw is presented by Southern New Hampshire University.
Who gives a shit?
I don't know where I'm at. This girl, she's mine. Hop. Damn, she's fine. Welcome, everybody, to the Comedians Wrestling Podcast. We are back in action for your satisfaction of all our spicy, muy, chef's kiss, caliente reactions. I have to rush through the opening today, folks. And the reason I have to is because my internet was down all day, and we're recording a little later, and I'm chomping at the bit. I'm Tommaso chomping at the bit. Has he ever said that? I'm chomping at the bit for this match. He wouldn't do that because that would be too clever for anything going on at NXT. Anyway, everybody, Tough Guy Alley in full zone. Kyle O'Reilly, a star? No, not a star. I'm a fan, but he's not. I'm not. You know, they're trying to put a fedora on him. And all right, we'll get into it. I'll introduce everybody. Let's get into everybody. Remember, this podcast is supported by you guys over at patreon.com/comedians of wrestling. Everything we do is supported by you. If you want more, go there. Plus, the Cal Movie Club is back by popular demand. Season 3, our first episode of the Cal Movie Club, our 420 special edition is up. It's See No Evil 2, starring the mayor of Knoxville County, Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane. And it's the sequel to that movie. It's on Tubi.com, which is, by the way, Tubi is, I've said many times before, people know this. Tubi is Hold for Fireworks. One of my guys. It's free. It's got Bloodsport. It's one of my guys. All right. If you watch a Van Damme movie, it automatically goes into another Van Damme movie. All right. There's a lot to like about Tubi, and it's free, everybody. Check that out. So we'll have more. Our next movie next week is I don't know what it's called, but we're watching this. It's Bruce Willis and Lana in space. Okay, so we'll be watching that. Those episodes are a blast. We had Nasty Newman on for 420. Check it out. Go to Patreon.
I think that's actually the title. I think the title is.
God.
I think the title is Bruce Willis and Lana in space. That's the title of the movie, isn't it?
Sierra Hotel, Echo,
Oh,
Bravo,
my God.
India, Romeo, Oscar, Shapiro.
What's up, Dan? How you guys doing?
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for the
Hey,
heads
man,
Hold
up.
on, that's a good reminder. Actually, I wasn't fully dressed yet.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't do it.
I wasn't even fully dressed yet. Putting on my my beautiful the King of Iron Fist Hawaii beads.
They're not
Championship
beads.
Yeah.
They're not beads. It's a
Jason
kukui
Shapiro,
nut
Comedian
leg.
Cow Champion in the house.
What's up?
I guess the winner of Calmania 3. He defeated me. You can see that right now on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/Comedians of Wrestling Podcast. Right, Phil? Is that what it is? youtube.com/C/Comedians of Wrestling
The C, because
Podcast.
the C is for channel. It's for channel. It's YouTube, and the channel is comedians. So any YouTube channel, unless you get a vanity link, it's all nowadays is youtube.com/C/
youtube.com/C/Comedians Wrestling Podcast. Anyway, Shebs is here, and he's here. Look, he's the champion. Champion's privilege matters a bunch. I can't stop this fucking asshole from coming here, and that's his deal. Also, Nick Tulo in the house, the Supermark, the Marketech. Nick Tulo, what's up? Oh, we don't need to see, Phil says.
Oh, boy. Well, we're both
hey,
wrong.
that's what she said, folks. I'm watching The Office, so I'm going to be throwing in That's What She Said's for you, for the diehards. Looks like we lost a couple listeners. All right, Tulo's in the house. What up, Tulo?
Oh, what's up?
How was your trek to Austin, Texas?
It's great. I picked out a place, getting ready to move.
You're moving to Austin T.
I'm moving to Austin, Massachusetts.
Love it.
Wow.
Austin is a great city. Austin is a great city. I think it's
great.
road trip, actually.
Yes,
or both.
Road trip.
Tulo, Austin. I've never been to Austin. I've been all over Tejas.
Well,
But
if you wanna venture yourself into Austin and bring that fucking gold title with you, I'm sure we can organize a spectacle of our choosing that will draw bigger than anything that's ever drawn before.
Wow. Look, I love the attitude. I love you.
I mean, someone's got to fucking talk about what the next step is around here. We've just Calmania 3 comes and goes, and we just don't even hear anything from the loser or the winner.
There's no in the Cal universe. You know, our roster is, instead of the hundreds of superstars that WWE has, our roster is about 5 people. So we can't fill out a pay-per-view every month. I just fought the fight of my life at Calmania 3. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. youtube.com/comedians of wrestling.
No denying that.
Epic match. Dan, you're a good hand, and you gave me the match of my life. But I'm not ready to go to battle again.
Honestly,
well, I'm not in Austin yet. So.
I don't want the podcast. I don't want the podcast to go too long.
I know. We gotta rip through it. So that's why. No, I know, but that's why you should interrupt me. Let me finish my thought.
2 auditions tomorrow. Let's do it.
Oh, auditions. Ooh, very, very important. Look, we're talking about the champion right now.
Sorry, we all. Some of us have shit to do. We can't just be living in Hawaii doing nothing.
Well, but that's just my point. Tulo's talking about. I'm not going to Austin. I'm not coming to the main. First of all, the champion doesn't come to the mainland for nothing. And I'll tell you this: if you think I'm even defending this title until the next major tentpole, whether it be SummerSlam or Royal Rumble, I just had Calmania, man. I don't have time for Cal Rumble. I mean, it's not going to be up on a random backlash. We gotta train. Yeah. We gotta get back to the basics here. Besides, I don't really see anybody who maybe earns a shot. I don't know. What do you do to earn a shot? You're moving to Austin, so now you get a title shot for that?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh, man. I just got a funny text.
Oh, okay. Hey, so Dan.
You wouldn't get it. But so look.
What'd you do to earn a shot? You went out of your way to fucking sneak attack and beat my ass. Well, guess what? You know what? There's ways to get shots around, especially in this fucking in this community. You can get a shot any way you damn well please. You just got to know people around here, Okay.
All right, look, we can worry about. Listen, we can. You know what? Frankly, look, right now, me and Shebs, we put on a spectacle. I brought my all. I'm not very proud of the outcome of that. I'm proud of a lot of things that I brought to the table there, and I'm proud of the support of the community. But obviously, look, at the same time, a pinfall is a pinfall, and sometimes in life you got to move on because you just have to, and sometimes because you're you could be busy. I'm pretty busy, so it is what it is. So, but anyway, I'm trying to focus on the listener here, the Jabroniacs. Get back to them. And I think that's what we should do. What do you guys think?
I think that's great.
Sure.
Let's do what we do best, which is put on a great wrestling podcast.
All right, so you're sticking around here, you're saying?
I'm going to stick around for a little bit. I mean, I got stuff. I got a fucking hot date later. I'll do 30 minutes or something, Okay. But here's the thing. I got a lot of news to just get out real quick.
Well, right now we're in let me just set the stage here right now. We're on the road to WrestleMania Backlash. Okay? It's just
actually, we actually, you know what it is? We got off the road. We got off the exit to Backlash. We were on the road to WrestleMania. We passed it, and now we have to get off at the next exit, which is Backlash.
We never got off the stupid express. We're still on the stupid express.
We're fuck. We're on the stupid expressway. We should have gotten off at WrestleMania. Now we have to get off at the wrong exit at Backlash. Yeah. Which is always the wrong exit.
A lot of morons out there kind of were like, oh, WrestleMania happened. I'll pop back in next year, forgetting that we are currently on the road to Backlash.
Yeah, right, we're still on the road.
We're on the road to WrestleMania Backlash. And so big matches coming up. A lot of them As always, this is what WWE seems to do. They give you the same matches. Like, everything goes to WrestleMania is not the end of any feuds. No,
they say, hey, let's run it back. Let's run it back one more time. You guys already tech this match.
Yeah, but look how many times. This is my issue, okay? This is my issue. My issue is not that I like that some matches continue after Mania. I like that. My issue is that a lot of it is starting at Mania because they had no lead up, right?
Exactly.
So then they naturally are falling. So, for example, like, you could, like, the Big E Apollo Crews feud or Apollo, like, that's like just starting now, it feels like, right? Like, now they just added in Dabba-Kato with the Nigerian nail, which is just a repurposed Samoan Spike. I mean, Nigerian nail sounds cool. Like, y'all hit you.
No,
with
it
a
doesn't.
Nigerian
It
nail.
doesn't because I think of like a fingernail. Because he's using his hand, so I think of it like a finger, like he hits him with an elongated thumbnail.
But I like the way he does it, though. He does it's like a snap spike. You notice that?
It's cool. Look, it's cool. But here's the thing: what a waste when you
Commander
have
Aziz?
when you have huge guys and you give them strike finishes. Like, this guy could be giving people ragdolling them with a razor's edge. He could be throwing people out of the. He could be pump handle slamming these guys and never even put it back. He could just do a pump handle and toss them 6 feet in the air. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you pump handle, just do the motion and don't even put them on your shoulder. Just launch them 6 feet up in the air from a pump handle. There's all sorts of cool slammy shit they could do. What does he need a fucking? He's got to hit you. When Big Show's finish was just a stiff punch to the face.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
I mean, I'll give the guy credit. He was acting his ass off on Monday, though, like doing the whole fucking thing.
Dabba-Kato?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was psyched up. He was
so psyched,
he was psyched
dude.
up.
He was so pumped. He was like, "I'm gonna fucking do this. You want me to do this? This is what
I
I'm
think
gonna
that was SmackDown, right?
He used to, for all my
SmackDown,
actors in the house, he used to be named Bada-Kato. Bada, of course, the British Academy of Dramatic Arts. It's a big Shakespeare school.
I mean, but like we just saw this guy like
God's fifth element because he's like the fifth element of SmackDown. I don't know.
I mean, we just saw this guy on
it's Earth, Wind, Fire,
Raw Underground,
Heart,
like,
and then
not too long ago.
Everyone knows that, right?
Yeah, of course. Earth, Wind, Fire, Dabba-Kato. I gotta tell you,
that's
Tulo,
a sick shirt. Earth, Wind,
Fire, Dabba-Kato.
Dabba-Kato.
I don't know if it is, but I like it. Tulo, you said we just saw him on Raw Underground. This is pro wrestling, man. I would love to see I would love to see the timetable between how long between he was like Rosie and Jamal and then into Umaga, or like how long was it like Papa Shango into Kama Mustafa?
Well, let me ask you something, because I had this thought when we're jumping around a little bit, but so they had Heyman cutting a promo on Cesaro,
right?
And I was like, yo, but he was his manager for a little bit. Do they have to acknowledge that?
No, they don't.
That's like a couple. That's like 5 years out, right? That's fine.
Right.
That's
well,
fine.
they're not even acknowledging the real money thing that's going to be happening down the road. Is when Lesnar comes back. Like, Heyman is Lesnar's manager. Now he's Roman's manager. Those guys feuded forever. They're both main event guys.
Brock's gonna come back, baby, right? Because of that.
No, come on.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
He's like, you stole my manager, baby heat. You know,
what I think is going to happen is Brock's going to come back on Raw, dominate Raw. Reigns is going to dominate SmackDown. Heyman's going to rep both of these guys. And then there's going to be some sort of turn. Maybe Roman turns face again later, but I think Heyman's going to have the whole stable. But to talk about Cesaro, first of all,
I just have one quick thing to say.
Oh, please.
Do you ever think we get an acknowledge me, let me in off? Meaning you have Bray and Reigns face to face. He's like, let me in. And he goes, acknowledge me. Let me in. Acknowledge me.
I think that's...
And then they get caught in a loop of not acknowledging or letting each other in. And then they have to bring in a therapist. They got to bring in the Bailey Sasha therapist guy.
Yeah.
They got to bring him in to work this out. He won't let me in. And but he won't acknowledge me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Before you could let someone in the door, you have to acknowledge that someone's outside the door.
Yeah, which comes first, right? You have to let somebody in. I think you can't acknowledge until you let them in, right?
No, see, you and me are at odds like that. We always are feuding. You think that you can't acknowledge someone unless you let them in. You got to let them in to acknowledge. I'm saying you got to acknowledge first. You got to acknowledge that someone needs to be let in.
But I was thinking it's like a physical let me in, like to the house. We can't have a conversation through a door. You know
what I'm saying is that you can't even. I'm saying this. I never just open the door when no one's outside. I don't go, hey, no one's out there. Let me open the door
I'll
in case.
open the door once you acknowledge me. You're saying
that's how it goes. I'm saying, yeah, well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
you know who I am, like almost.
I've never just said to myself, hey, maybe someone's outside. I'm going to open the door just in case. No, first I acknowledge that someone is there, and then I got to let them in.
Well, they also should acknowledge
this
you,
is
though.
So chicken or the egg. You could see this the other way, and also the least productive wrestling conversation, but the most fun happening on.
This is. I'll file this under barely about wrestling. This is barely about wrestling.
I saw a couple wrestling memes this week, and then we'll get into you. You said you had a couple things, and I would like to talk about these great wrestling memes I've seen this week. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
Okay.
But this one I fucking adore. It's like a hot chick smiling. I said this to you guys, right?
Yeah.
And she's smiling, and it says, "When you meet another wrestling fan," and she kind of has the eyes in her, the eyes of like, wow, like lighting up, being like, "Yo, you're a Mark? Cool, I'm a Mark," you know. But then the next one is her with her mouth even wider. She's even more excited when it says, "When you meet another wrestling fan," that's the first one, and then the second one with her wider, she goes, "And they also acknowledge Roman Reigns as their tribal chief."
It's a great meme. It's a great meme.
So funny. We love it.
We love it.
That's just straight up funny. No,
and I'll tell you something very rare. I have also never seen that photograph in the meme sphere. I've never seen that meme before.
No,
like,
it's
with
true.
Other
Because normally
words.
it's like that girl, the guy's talking to her ear at the movie theaters, or
Right, well,
the two girl the walking by. He's looking back at the other chick.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Those are the classic meme template.
It's not
images.
a cliche meme template.
Right. So it's a fresh meme template, and it's a fresh. And by the way, so niche. Like who? Such a small audience for this.
Now, did you see this Friends one I sent?
Yeah.
What's the Friends one? I don't know. I don't remember.
It's almost impossible to explain, but it's Phoebe talking to Joey, and she's saying Dominic, and he's like Dominic, saying it back, but he's confused face, and then it's her going Dijakovic, and then he's going Dijakovic, and then it says Dio, and then it says Dio, and he's still confused, and then she says Madden, and then it's Madden, he's still confused, and then she goes, all right, Dominic Dijakovic and Dio Madden, and then he looks like he's like, I got it, but then it says T-Bar and Mace.
Oof.
Wow. Is that the most deep cut wrestling meme
cut
of all time? Look at this.
It's a deep cut. It's a deep cut. Should we talk about Mason T-Bar?
Let's jump right into it. Then you said you had two things, right?
Well, or do you have more memes? Do you got more memes in the meme stack?
I do. I definitely do.
Hit me with some more memes.
Describing memes content.
Yeah, well, you can watch it on YouTube.
I think this is peak digital age content. A podcast where you discuss memes about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's another thing. It's not a meme, but I saw it on the bar wrestling, not bar wrestling, the Bleacher Report wrestling thing. But it's Karrion Kross commenting about retiring John Cena, which is like, why would he even? And he goes, I would be very honored. I would be honored and very ready. This guy thinks he's getting anywhere near Cena. This jabroni.
Wow. Well, so it's not like a promo where he was like throwing, like spewing, like trying to do what Riddle does, where he like, punches outside of his league.
I think like he got asked it in an interview, and he's believing his own hype enough to not go. That's a ridiculous thing. It's a ridiculous thing.
I have never in my life seen somebody who, like, I've just never seen this before, where someone is so elevated because they are dating a hot chick. I've never seen it. I didn't see it in high school. I didn't see it in college. I don't see it as an adult, where it's like, this guy's okay. His girlfriend is like a big deal. So now he's a huge deal. I've never seen that happen. Like maybe maybe it happened with Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold, where it's like, was a huge.
That's the proper. They're the Roseanne Barr, Tom Arnold of wrestling.
Right. Like Tom Arnold was very funny. Well, pretty funny. He's a comedy writer, stand-up. Okay, Tom Arnold's fine.
Really funny. He's really funny.
No, I love Tom Arnold now, but at the time, everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? And then all of a sudden, Roseanne's like, no. I'm Roseanne. I'm the belle of the ball. I'm a big deal. My show's a huge hit. I'm the domestic goddess.
Yeah, I got more wrestling memes.
Oh, you got more memes in the meme sack.
This one's all visual, though. It's Sasha Banks. It's 0 for 6 at Mania.
That's an amazing streak.
It's the streak.
An amazing streak. Honestly, that's my favorite meme. That's my favorite meme. So it's Sasha Banks' head superimposed on the dead man's body on Undertaker, doing the Undertaker kneel with the hand raised with 0-6
It's
emblazoned on the Titantron behind her.
Which, by the way, it's going to be cool because the Sasha streak is going to be, we've talked about it. It's going to be a cool story for her when she does win because they're going to have to start acknowledging her loss streak.
I don't think it's going to get quite to 21. Like, I think she's probably going to win in the next 2 Manias and it's a semi-big deal.
All right, I got another wrestling meme.
All right, you got another meme.
All right. Did you see this one?
Have you seen this? Have you heard this?
You guys seen about this?
Are we doing Jay Leno style? Have you guys seen this?
This is Rhea Ripley. She's crying at the beginning of WrestleMania, and Jinder Mahal standing right behind her in full gear, and she's like really emotional because she's like at WrestleMania. But it says, when you notice that the greatest WWE champion of all time is behind you, and you're trying your hardest not to mark out.
Wait, when was this from?
Dan, how do you not have that picture of that signed picture of Jinder Mahal up on that wall next to The Rock? I mean, like,
because it's too busy signed on my mantle in a framed. It's framed in my mantle.
You should put it here. You should bring it to the studio so the marks can see it.
I know. But it's more for the guests of the house.
Wait, hold on. Was that picture a Photoshop or was Jinder Mahal? Wait, so at what point was Jinder standing behind
WrestleMania? The beginning of WrestleMania was
this year.
You and I were on the beach still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea Jinder was even in the company right now.
Yeah, he's still in the company.
What's he doing?
The company of other champions, as a matter of fact.
No, well, he's on my Mount Rushmore, obviously. But like, what's he involved? What program is he? He's wrestling. Like, what show is he on? Where's Jinder?
He hasn't been on, but he's still in the part of the company.
Have you seen him on?
I got another wrestling meme. You ready for another wrestling meme?
No, I just have one more Jinder question. Have you seen? Can you answer my question?
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen Jinder on like actual linear content? Like, has he been in a segment?
No, he's not. He's not part of anything.
Okay,
he was out there at the beginning of WrestleMania. Every wrestler came out and Vince welcomed everybody back to being a live crowd again, just to go back to the Thunderdome the next day.
I don't get it though. So why wouldn't they release someone like that they're just not using at all?
Well, Tulo, this next meme will get us into the firings because that's what we should talk about.
Yeah,
but it's Samoa Joe at WrestleMania wearing a poncho. And it said, my boy stood in the rain only to get released a week after that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, that one's just mean. But, yeah, so let's get into the firings. But, okay, let's just talk about it. Listen, companies let people go, whatever.
Yeah.
It is something we should note that WWE has had record profits this year. They're doing better than ever, but they are letting these talents go. Now that being said, they also are bringing in a ton of NXT talent. You know what I mean? So, right? Am I wrong?
No.
I don't see their books, so I don't. You know what I mean?
But if you look at what the factors to their success were this year, profits wise, I think it's because of Samoa Joe and Billy Kay. Like, I think those two factors really, they upped the ante. I mean, he was doing announcing work. She was no longer in the Iconics. That really moved the needle for a lot of people.
Well, okay.
I'm just kidding.
They also let Peyton Royce go, by the way.
Oh, did they? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think Peyton Royce should be let go. I think Billy Kay is better than Peyton Royce.
Well, okay. That being one thing I want to say.
I didn't like that push.
Letting Samoa Joe go is one of those things that marks need to back off a little on because he's been hurt. Like a lot of these guys, you can't get so bad. I don't know. I guess it's tricky actually. I don't have a total. I could see an argument in the other way here, but because they're getting hurt doing the thing you're paying them to do. You know what I mean? But but a guy like Samoa Joe is a guy who was pretty pushed, right?
Yeah.
Like he's had a pretty nice. He's got title shots at Brock Lesnar, had some nice runs, and then always goes down. So if you're Vince or whatever, what do you do with a guy like Samoa Joe? He's 40-something years old. He's also getting paid, by the way, he's being paid like a main eventer contract to announce. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I think, honestly, that Samoa Joe, by the way, so good as an announcer. So great on the stick, which I didn't even realize.
I think he's going to be re-signed, Joe. I think they let Joe go to re-sign him to the proper kind of contract.
That's what I think, because at the end of the day, you find a spot for that guy. You find a spot. You have to be a GM or something. You find a spot for Samoa Joe.
Right.
The thing is this, though. I also have the sneaking suspicion if Joe was like a homegrown. You see, the thing is this. If Samoa Joe was like a homegrown Vince guy, If he like became Samoa Joe, like all those years in TNA were in WWE, they wouldn't be letting him go right now. They'd keep him on and let him ride it out. But he's not one of Vince's guys. He's not one of his toys.
I'll even just go to far as to say that Vince sees Samoa Joe's value, and then just his guy, but is also like, how much am I paying this guy, and how many matches does he give me a year? You know what I mean? Like, right. I think they're like, and then also, his knees are kind of done. That all being said, we don't know what they said to Joe. Like, we don't know if they went to Joe and were like, hey, we want to lower your salary but move you more into an announcing role or whatever. And then he was like, nah, I could still go. In which case, you're at odds, right? And then, because he's an immediate AEW sign, right?
Immediate. Well, I think he's immediate. I think Billy Kay and I guess Peyton too. They should both immediately bop into AEW.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the other thing. So Samoa Joe, I understand why them firing Samoa Joe, even though at first it felt shocking. You're like, you kind of just do the math, and you're like, he's probably too highly paid for the amount he can go at this age, right? Okay, whatever. Whatever. I'm surprised he didn't have a better run. Again, there's another argument to be made that like they never strike when the iron's hot on these guys. So that now he's hurt. He had like some pretty awesome moments that they didn't capitalize on. Okay,
right.
That's another argument to be had. But the weird thing is letting the Iconics go is so odd because they're the only women's tag team and they have tag titles.
Right. They're the only actual women's tag team.
Women's tag team. Like the only group who brings legitimacy to the women's tag
broke them up.
Are them.
I know. It made no. They wanted to push them as single stars or push. They also
they set them up to be fired. Like everyone knew they couldn't hang without each other. They're way too similar to begin. Like, right or no? They have the same gimmick.
I'll tell you what,
tag team.
I think they try to push that Peyton is like the more legitimate wrestler and that Billy is more of the comedy one.
They both can't wrestle. That's
not true.
I don't know. I mean,
they're both can't go that hard. They've never had matches you remember. They're fine.
I honestly think the real.
Tulo?
I think. Well, you're going to ask Tulo loves everybody.
Yeah, I do. Except for you, Shabiro.
Okay.
She had a really good run in NXT, Peyton, and so did Billy as well. But I mean, when they're doing tag team work, they're not really getting. I mean, the matches are never really that big, so a lot of the times they never really got to showcase their talents as much. I remember Peyton had a good match with Charlotte recently, but
Well, she had that promo. That's why I was kind of shocked with Peyton because she had that promo against Charlotte that was effective, got some heat.
Yeah.
But then they didn't ride it. Like she had she had that talking smack moment that like popped up on my feed like crazy, where she was like, "I'm so good," and then the thing it got heat because her mom said Charlotte needs to get out of the way for the other women, and that led to Charlotte's current like gimmick. Essentially, is Peyton directly led to that. So Peyton being let go was really surprising to me. I really thought Vince was going to try her. Billy Kay less surprising because she was kind of floating, but at the same time she seemed valuable to me because she's really funny and entertaining. So I was surprised also. But
that's the thing. Billy, like it seemed to me like I didn't even know to let Peyton go. Like Peyton was the one they seemed like, hey, we're gonna bet one of these horses. We're gonna bet Peyton. We don't need them both. Let's get rid of Billy. But to me, Billy is the money star there. Billy has more value to me because Billy is definitely funnier. She just is. She's a funnier person.
I mean, talk about if you put those two with Britt Baker, I mean, what a fucking stable.
What a stable. That's an instant.
I imagine the Iconics will both pop up in AEW.
And I have a feeling AEW is going to have a women's tag title very soon because they have with Dark and Elevation both going, and the amount of tag matches and women that they have that are in the system now. Like, I see tag titles coming, and honestly, if they fucking put the title on Britt and then tag titles on them, it would be insane.
That'd be huge. But
now let's talk about it from a fan. I just want to say from a fan's perspective. This is the way I've been thinking about firings now. Is it good for us? Okay, now forget about them. Like they'll make more money there, blah blah blah. But like, let's take Samoa Joe for example. I think we as fans are way better off with Samoa Joe in AEW. I think.
Or wherever he goes.
I know in AEW, I think he can really do
Team Taz.
like his thing. He can really have the matches he wants. He'll have a lot more creative freedom. You know what I mean? Like there are like you don't need Rollins. You don't need Rollins in AEW. Like Rollins thrives in the WWE environment. See, like some people do really well there, and they're Vince's guys and blah blah blah. You know, but I think Samoa Joe's a guy where you're like he just belongs. That AEW like let's just feels like great fit. The worry is if you're Tony Khan about signing a guy like Joe. You've signed Christian, right? You start being like, are we making something people have seen before? But I think you're going to be fine because you still have Kenny in the box. You have all those guys, you know?
But also, they're not signing guys people don't want to see. These are guys that people want in. Like people want Joe. They want even Christian. They're like, fuck.
Immediately they're going to go, Joe. Like your crowd.
They're going to lose their mind. I really do have a lot of respect for the signings of AEW. I think they do a pretty good job. Like they're not picking up.
They never take the guys where you're like, you know, like they didn't sign Cardona. Like that's the example, I think. Right.
He's like, right. That's a great example. And then on the other side, you have Sting, where it's like I didn't even think that Sting would be back, and I wasn't that excited. Because like actually, it's pretty awesome that Sting's around. Like and the Darby stuff is a nice little touch. Like it's good. They're doing good. I famously have turned down working at WWE 3 times. I would probably pick up the phone for AEW. Tony Khan wants to call the champ. I'll pick up the phone. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no desire to work for a creative team at WWE. It just doesn't seem like it would be any kind of fun.
I don't think there could be.
I mean,
it's got to be one of the worst writing jobs.
I truly
there, right?
don't know.
It's got to be one of.
I truly don't fucking know what I watched on Monday night. Okay, I am watching 3 hours of illogical booking. Nothing makes sense. Why am I seeing matches that I just saw on WrestleMania? They don't interweave anything together. They have Alexa Bliss doing something scary, and then right after that they put on something happy-go-lucky. It's like it's wild, man, and it's like starting to drive me crazy that like tonight on Dynamite, you know everything that's like they tell you their card. There's no Drew McIntyre goes to the back and says, Pierce, I want these 2 guys. I want them in Hank. And Adam Pierce is like, well, you know, you can't really all right, I'm going to give you your handicap match. You know, like it's just stupid. It's not good. Like it's
a little all over the place.
Yeah,
here's what I will say.
It's a shame because there's a lot of talent on that roster. There's a lot of people with high hopes and are excited to be on Raw. They're never going to get really used properly. Like it sucks. I mean, it's still wrestling. There's still good shit that's happening. The Charlotte stuff was awesome. Like, but in the end, it's like 3 hours of this. I don't need to watch that anymore. Like, honestly,
I'm glad you're finally coming around to the dark side of saying, hey, there's too much wrestling. There's just too much wrestling.
Well, but, I mean, you know, it's interesting because now with NXT on Tuesday, which is the smart move, you start really realizing like, all right, that is another night. Like it's on a different.
And that
day.
show is way better. Way.
It's like, hey, if
better.
you like wrestling, you need to devote your fucking entire life to watching wrestling at this point.
Yeah,
and then let alone if you want to talk about it on a podcast, I mean, forget it. I mean, this is like, I mean, it's over for us. But let me say this.
What were you saying about NXT?
Well, I'm just saying. Well, NXT is just like it's a good show. Like last night's show was awesome. There's a lot. There's awesome rivalries and stories that just constantly build. Like it's an easy show to put on. I think it looks fucking awesome. I think it being on its own night Tuesday, it'll be in over 1 million viewers very soon. Like I know we don't, give a fuck about ratings, but you could see it heading in that direction. It's like, and it seems like the wrestlers are having a lot of fun and they have a hand in the storytelling, so it's a completely different product from Raw. And to go from Raw to that, I'm like, why am I even fucking watching Raw? And honestly, I wasn't because I had Elevation on at the same time. Now I can watch AEW Dark Elevation, and Raw just seems silly to just keep it on in the background,
So here's the one thing that WWE really consistently did this week. I noticed a theme this week that tied the whole week together from SmackDown to Raw. And I don't know if this dinged you guys. This was the week of the bitch. Everyone was saying bitch this week.
Oh,
everyone.
Yeah. They've been saying it so much.
But this was everywhere. Cesaro called Roman Reigns a son of a bitch. He goes, "You see what that son of a bitch did?" And let me tell you, when Cesaro said "son of a bitch," that actually felt good to me because he sounded very foreign. He had an accent. That's as a guy who hangs around a lot of foreign guys, it's my family and stuff. Everyone's calling people, "This guy, he's son of a bitch. He's a son of a bitch." Like, it just sounded very authentic to me. So I like that. Alexa Bliss talking about, "I pushed that bitch off the swing set." She was throwing bitch around.
Yeah.
Asuka screamed bitch in some sort of barely coherent scream fest. It was a bitch fest this week on the product.
It's been a bitch fest a lot, man. They've been using it so much lately.
Well, but I saw them doing it on the road to WrestleMania because that's the ceiling. That's the red zone.
Bad Bunny said bitch.
Well, Bad Bunny.
Bitches is auto heat in wrestling. It just is what it is.
Right, but they were doing it a lot on the road to WrestleMania, like go home WrestleMania. I was noticing a lot of bitch because they can't say fuck or cunt or something. Like, they got to go like, this is not the biggest. This is the biggest curse word they got in the book. Yeah. So they were going bitch left and right. But I thought that was cooling down after WrestleMania.
No.
But no, now they're keeping going. They're keeping it happening. It's crazy.
Hold on. My dad is saying he wants to come on the podcast right now.
Right now?
Oh my God. I can't wait to hear it. Don't tell us what it's going to be about. Let's just get
I have no
live.
idea.
Okay.
I have no idea, but I have to figure out how.
Well,
right,
I've got a couple of.
Pipe him in. Well, I'll see if
I've got a couple announcements that I need to
I'll just put
make.
him on speaker. Let me just call him right now.
All right.
I could do it the proper way, but let's just get him while I got him.
This is the
Richie
best
Black
podcast
coming on
ever.
Richie, you're on the podcast. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. You're being recorded. Did you actually want to say something to the podcast?
Yes, I have an announcement.
You have an announcement?
As you know, I've been following. You know, what's my favorite expression? The Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, if you smell what the Rousey is kicking, right?
That's right.
It's I think it's
kicking. Well,
wait, what is it? What is it? Can you say it again for us?
Now it's if you smell what the Rousey is kicking. Well, you know, Ronda and I, we go way back. And we have an announcement today. We're having a child.
Wait, you and Ronda Rousey are having a child?
That's right. She won't admit it's my kid. But it is.
Wow.
Huge news.
Did you tell my mother / your current wife? What did she say?
It's nobody's business.
Wow. So you called me up. You said you had a special announcement. You texted me. Put me on the pod. I have a special announcement. And your announcement is say that you can smell what the Rousey is kicking, and it's a child in her stomach. And it is my half-brother.
That's right. It is.
Wow. This is huge.
You're going to be an uncle again.
Wow, this is huge news.
No, it's not uncle. It's a half brother.
It's my half brother, Richie.
It's not uncle.
If you want to make our family this complicated, you better learn how that's going to flow. All right, well, that's a huge announcement, and we have some other stuff to get to. And I'll have to call you later to have a more serious discussion about this.
Have a deep family conversation about fidelity and monogamy. And
I thought it was Travis Brown, not Richie Black.
Oh, that's funny.
Whatever you want to call me.
All right, the father of Ronda Rousey is not Ronda Rousey's child is not Travis Brown. It's apparently Richie Black, an elder Jewish statesman in Long Island. She won't admit it? All right, Richie. All right, I got to go before this goes off the rails more.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Can we
Huge
just
news
marinate
here.
That?
Huge news out of Richie Black. Huge news. He
Ronda
called you
Rousey.
to tell you he cheated on your mom.
Right.
With Ronda Rousey. Love it. Love to hear it.
And she cheated on Travis Brown with Richie Black.
And by the way, Travis Brown, former UFC heavyweight contender, he could kick the shit out of your father. He could knock that ponytail right off his head onto your head. Your dad might be in danger here.
Listen, I wouldn't get near my dad. He's too potent.
Wow.
He might get Travis Brown pregnant.
Wow.
All right,
That's
listen.
huge.
All right. Well, listen, a father of 4, Richie Black. You heard it here first.
You'll love to hear it. Big announcement out of Richie Black. I don't think
Did my dad mean to say that it was, or was he just trying to be like, yo, did you hear Ronda Rousey's pregnant, but then misspoke? Or did he call to make that announcement?
I think he came to make that announcement because
I guess we'll never know.
It didn't seem like a trip up. It didn't seem like a slip of the tongue. It seemed like he was really proud of himself for this one. He really seemed like he was having a good time.
So, all right, I want to jump back to NXT for a second and just say this about a guy like Kyle O'Reilly, okay? Then we'll get to Sheb's announcements, okay? Okay, Shebs? Because we're talking about NXT. I said at the top of the show that he's not a star. It just dawned on me, like, I like Kyle O'Reilly, right? Like, I watched him wrestle at PWG. I have a huge affinity for the guy. The guy can fucking go. He puts on great matches.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like he does not have the charisma to be opening up a show 8 p.m. on USA. That's the thing that's so tricky about wrestling is what do you do with a guy like a Kyle O'Reilly? I mean, we're talking about just because there's not a Stone Cold Steve Austin in the current wrestling verse doesn't mean that's not the level you need to open your show. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get the ceiling on a guy like this. I hate to be like a jerk. I like this wrestler. I know some of you will be upset. The ceiling on these guys being like stars, you almost understand why Karrion Kross is the champion over there. They have no choice. He's the only one that they got who's even close to being a dude where you would turn the channel on and be like, this guy looks kind of cool. You know?
Do you think that they are the same level of stardom? Or do you think that Karrion Kross is decidedly has more star quality?
More. He has more. Like, when you look at the roster over there, you're just kind of like, this guy, if you turn on the channel, you might keep it on. He might trick you for a little bit.
Well, but that's the thing. I don't think he has star quality. I think he just looks bigger than those guys.
He's just big.
And again, he's standing next to a fucking dime piece. Like, he's only cool because of her. Without her, no one gives half a fuck about Karrion Kross, which is so weird to me. Not weird. It's just unique.
Yeah, I mean, this is all to say. It sounds like I'm shit talking. I'm not. I'm just saying, what is the goal of an NXT when it's like you want to be your own standalone show, the same exact time on the same exact network after Raw, but people are supposed to understand this show is more about work rate. It's a tall, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I think you're overcomplicating it, to be honest with you, because I think you're taking it to a level where it's not. Listen, are they lacking some star power on the men's side? Yes. On the women's side, absolutely not. Like, it's that the women are completely carrying that brand. If you look across between Taya versus Io, that's going to happen. Saray versus Toni Storm, Raquel versus Mercedes.
Frankie Monet, bro.
Yeah, Frankie Monet.
How have we not said Shotzi? How have we not said Shotzi?
Shotzi and Ember Moon as tag champs are actually
Ember Moon, not a star. Shotzi, yes.
But they're at least a great tag team, and they make tag team wrestling seem cool.
To the Ember Moon.
What I'm saying is
one of these days, Ember.
One of these days, Ember.
Pow! Right to the moon.
Yeah, right. To the moon.
So
which is a joke about punching your wife before the. That's what
comedy used to be a little bit different.
Sorry, Tulo, to interrupt you. Just saying, we had to say the honeymooners would close with a joke about one of these days I'm gonna punch you all the way to the moon. Right.
That was the T-shirt catchphrase. This was the moneymaker for that show. Is yo, you're annoying me right now, and I'm gonna abuse you.
And she was nothing but he was a bus driver, right?
Yeah, he was some shitbag fucking loser.
Jackie Gleason is a fat bus driver.
He's a fat piece of shit.
His wife was gorgeous and a homemaker for him.
He was a homemaker. She would slave away trying to make a nice home on a bus driver's salary. She was trying to make
threaten, and he would get every week to punch her all the way to the moon.
And then you have to understand, 50 shows also, the hijinks were always like the wives would get into some shenanigans. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, we want to get this new washer, but like we can't afford it. Well, I sold his baseball collection. It's always like they're doing some harebrained scheme, and the husbands have to come back and be like, oh, you broads did it again. And then everyone will laugh and hug.
This is because we said Ember Moon.
Yeah.
One of these days, Ember. One of these days, Ember. How?
She does the eclipse, bro. The
Right to the
joke's on
moon.
you because you'll punch Ember Moon up to the moon and then she comes back, hits you with the fucking eclipse, bro.
Well, there you go.
She eclipses the moon.
Yeah.
If she eclipses the moon, you punch Ember to the moon for the eclipse. It's a tag team finish.
Yeah.
It's Gleason and Ember Moon, and he punches her, and then she flies up and hits you with the eclipse. What? I don't know. I
Figured it
loved
out.
it. I loved that combo. I just got to let you know. I mean,
Yeah.
was it problematic? Many would argue yes.
We're on the right side of history, though. We're
Yeah,
talking,
Tulo.
We're shining light.
Let's go back.
Well,
Your
here's the-
argument is
here's
that
the-
I'm
here's the
overthinking
solution.
it,
Well,
but
here's
I'm
the
just
solution.
saying, like with
Well, here's the
NXT when it
solution.
was on the network, right? What I'm saying was that it was. I don't know. Whatever.
Listen, there's
I agree.
storytelling. There's
I'm boring
storytelling.
myself.
Yeah, there's storytelling. It's the star power isn't there, but here's the solution. Why are we wasting talents like Ricochet and Shinsuke and go down the fucking list and having them stay up there? The Chad Gables of the world.
That's a great point.
Bring them
Ricochet
fucking down
could
to
be
NXT,
the
make
great
Ricochet
guy
the fucking
to
champion.
headline that show.
I mean, what are we doing? Like, what's the point? They need to get it out of their thick fucking skulls that the system that they have in place just doesn't work anymore. And they're getting exposed by the other company that's doing it way better. Because guess what? Dark and Elevation are happening. And it's just a well-oiled machine. People get on there, they wrestle matches. If they impress, they get more opportunities. The big names come down. They get the new people over.
AEW has a nice, healthy
Hold on.
flow going there.
Hold on. I gotta step in here because we're overlooking a couple things. So,
Okay.
one, WWE is.
He was a
running-
bus driver. Yeah.
He was
city.
you know what I'm saying? He drove a bus, and he had the balls to threaten to hit her because she's just trying to put a nice life together. And yes, sometimes she goofs up around the house, but what's she supposed to do? These guys bringing home fucking $2 a week. No, all right. What you guys don't understand is what you're overlooking. What you're overlooking here is AEW is responsible for one linear product. They have one job to do. Okay, WWE is doing 3 big ones, and there's 2 or 3 other ones that aren't even a big deal. Raw is its own linear product. SmackDown's its own linear product. NXT is its own linear product. You could argue that UK bullshit is or fucking cruise. I don't even fucking know what they're doing. Okay, but so they are having a tougher time juggling all these balls because they're trying to figure out what each one is and how they're supposed to make it its own. AEW, it's real. If there was a Ricochet on like Dark, it's very easy to bring them to Dynamite. It's all one continuity. It's all one universe.
That's what I'm saying. So they're exposed.
You're
now.
just. Can I tell you what you guys are saying? You're saying what I said the minute they brought back the brand split, however many years ago, where I said, "Hey, this is the end of wrestling being like good all the time. This is like it's going to be too much to balance. Like you need a B show. You need a B show so you could like put it in fucking neutral for a little bit, and just kind of catch up a little bit."
Tula just walked off, but I wanted to.
I guess he was mad, but I wanted to talk about the Kyle O'Reilly star thing. You were saying you turned this on and you don't think he's a star. I think Adam Cole is a star. I think if you turn that on, you see Adam Cole, you go, yeah, this guy holds my attention. But the thing is this, you guys, and by you guys, I say the marks, and I say you, Dan, I'm including you in the marks. You can't have it both ways, all right? A lot of times you say, hey, why don't they give a guy like Kyle O'Reilly a shot? Let's see if he could do it. Like you want them to give opportunities to these guys. Yeah. You know, you don't know. Like, let's see what happens if they put him in the main event spot. Let's see what happens when
Daniel Bryan disproves a lot of the stuff.
I disagree. I think Daniel Bryan is Kyle O'Reilly. They're the same thing to me. They are B+. Kyle O'Reilly is so close. He's so close to being everything you need him to be. And so is Daniel Bryan. But when you put him in that big spot, I mean, again, he's delivered a couple times. But he's still a B+ player. He's not fucking The Rock. He's not even Kurt Angle. He's just not that level of awesome. He just isn't. So I think Kyle O'Reilly is that. It's a charisma ceiling. We have a charisma ceiling on our hands.
I guess my thing is that I watch these guys. Some of them, and you're like, they're opening a wrestling show, and they're looking into lens, just being like supposed to be angry, you know, classic. Like, you beat me up last week. I was in the hospital. Now I'm back here and I'm pissed. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to call them out in the lens, and I'm like, you need to be able to believably sell me that. You need to. And a lot of these guys cannot, and it just always is like so frustrating. You know,
it's upsetting. It's upsetting. But here's the thing. Like
but
I
then
said,
I let it go for a guy like Cesaro, who I believe nothing. Like Cesaro, it's
Well,
like he can't even stare at Reigns and like make you think he's upset. You know what I mean?
Right,
The guy's
right,
such a happy-go-lucky like coffee drinker. Even his finishing moves are just like, I spin them. We're like,
hey, spin him around now.
Yeah, like
Come
Cesaro.
on, hey.
Cesaro's like what he got praised for was like spinning the guy around a bunch of times. Like,
Well,
even that's
they
like,
also-
it's a good time. It gets the crowd going. You know.
They named that move on.
I saw
on
the
SmackDown
UFO.
this week. They called the UFO the unidentified flying opponent,
Yeah.
which I think is a terrible name for that. But
so here's the thing: the whole thing happened there during SmackDown. Michael Cole was like, "It's a UFO," and then I should have known better, dude, because Pat McAfee,
You can
McAfee.
Pat
never say
McAfee,
that.
I never get it right. Pat McAfee, he was also. They both called it a UFO, and I was like, I should have known. Like, oh, this is a scripted thing. But when Michael Cole said unidentified flying opponent, I was like, oh, that's so funny because I thought it was an offhand joke that he thought
Right.
of. You know what I mean? Because he was like, oh, because McAfee said UFO, and then I was like, wow, what a clever. These guys might have great chemistry, you know? And then I was like, oh, that's the name. That's the proper name. The proper noun is UFO, unidentified flying opponent. I was like, oh, that's terrible.
it's a real letdown. But it was a phenomenal move, and I will say this: I think Pat McAfee actually is a really good announcer.
Yeah.
He's
he
doing
was
great.
a good time. He's always been good.
Nah, I didn't love the NXT shit with him. But I think he's got a home at that.
No,
desk.
but he announced another time. He announced that SmackDown, right, where they couldn't fly back.
Right.
When
right.
Adam Cole had the first versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
he
I
announced
remember
there, and he was
and then
everyone was like, he was a good time.
And he was in the end of the ring at the end of the match, like he was Team NXT.
Yeah, but
He's a good-
watch
he's a-
him. Let's track McAfee because, like, right now he is loose
he's big
as a
time.
goose, right?
Yeah.
And he's having fun. Let's track him. Let's watch the soul get sucked out of him.
Do you think
through that earpiece.
they're gonna put him on? They're gonna put him on a leash, like they give him the scripts and stuff.
Once that earpiece, he's gonna start being like, "Oh man, they're not letting me have any fun here," and he'll just leave because he's
Well,
like, "I don't need."
Right. Well,
this,
let me tell you
was-
this though. It's worth noting. I have been very underwhelmed. They added a couple announcers at the desk on Raw and on SmackDown, and those guys. It's always a nightmare. Whoever these new guys are just bad.
Okay, so I want to point something out. The guy who announces for Raw, the new guy in the middle, the guy
Yeah.
looks like he's like my uncle, you know?
Yeah, Adnan or something.
That guy,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Shlomo.
guy who's like, they always bring these guys over from Real Sports or whatever, and then
Right,
like,
right,
it's like
and
the
they don't
worst
get it.
move ever.
They don't fucking get it, and they pretend they're excited.
This
and
guy
they're just-
literally said the word. We have a lot of storylines developing. That's how he opened Raw. He said storylines. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
You don't call them storylines. That's
He
breaking
was
kayfabe.
real bad.
This guy was
He's
awful.
bad. And then McAfee shows up, and I'm like, yo,
Because
give me
he's
more
a
of this
mark.
guy.
He's a fucking legit
No,
mark.
but no, for sure. What do I want to say?
Let's get to your
I don't know.
announcements.
You want me to get to my
You
announcements?
said you had two things you want to say. Just
I got more than two, but here's a couple things I need to tell you.
Tulo, you ready for his announcements?
I don't know what the fuck these are gonna be. So
Big announcements, big ones, big ones. Big
Tulo,
ones.
are your eyes closed under those Oakleys? Are you wearing
Yes.
the Lakessi Oakleys? Or the Leesax? Not Lakessi. You wearing the Leesax?
I am.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so a couple announcements.
Rollins
boy.
was great at the end of SmackDown. Did you see?
Well, because it had a
Yes.
power outfit on. When you wear a
Yeah,
power
smoke
outfit,
jacket.
Everybody
smoke-
loves my drip.
He had the smoke jacket on for your boy.
dude,
His outfit was sick.
his outfit was on point.
He's the
So
cotton
when you-
candy prince.
When you're looking that good, of course, you're gonna be feeling that good, and then some great stuff's gonna happen. Well, let me get to my announcements. Phil, you might want to mark it. These are gonna be big announcements. Huge. Announcement number one. Look, we don't need to rehash the past, but I did defeat you at Calmania 3. I retained my title, and I just want to let you guys know, part of why I did what I did, why I got to shut the fuck up with the soundboard and doing announcements. Part of what I did is I'm trying to elevate the show. All right, I'm trying to do better for the podcast. I can happily report I've been officially verified on Twitter by the powers that be at the Twitterverse. I now have a blue check mark because of my victory at Calmania 3. I've been given the nod, okay?
Is that true?
I'm now famous enough on the strength of my match, and I think a little bit on the strength of The Rock regramming the promo. Because The Rock regrammed the promo, I think just I'm raising the profile of the Comedians of Wrestling podcast, okay? You're not going to get a blue check mark for yourself, Dan. I had to go out and fucking earn one, okay? So that's what I did. It's for you guys. I did it for the show.
You have 1,000 followers.
It's not about fame. It's about how important I am.
I was that close to getting a check mark. You fucked me, but with
I didn't fuck you.
and your crew. Whatever.
They're called the Ever Beach Bad Boys, and they're everybody's crew. They're the crew of the podcast. By the way, guys, we are in the works of making an Ever Beach Bad Boys t-shirt that you guys could buy on the Comedians of Wrestling PWT store. Ever Beach Bad Boys, look for that. It's going to be majorly important. Sorry. That's announcement number 1. Announcement number 2.
We could say Mage on the show. Dipperstein gave us direct permission to say Mage on the show.
Okay. All right. Well, the shirt is going to be Mage. Okay. It's going to be a Mage shirt. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say it. The shirt will be Mage.
Yeah.
The other announcement I needed to make is this. Before I ever even became champion, okay, back when I was living in New York, it was a tough time for me. I had left my fiance in the dead of winter, in the dead of a pandemic, like a dead-hearted man.
You left her in like a big mound of snow, right?
I smashed her face into a pile of snow, and I left out the front door.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant at all. I was picturing her standing in a mound of snow. Okay, Jesus, what are you, Jackie Gleason? Jesus Christ!
I sent her to the moon, and it was a tough time, man. And I was back home on Long Island. But the one thing that was kind of cool about it, let me tell you something. By the way, moving back home with your parents in a pandemic after your heart's broken. I would not recommend. That's not that chill. Okay. So I'm home. The one thing that's great though is you guys know this about me. I am the street whisperer. The streets don't lie. I got my ears to the streets and I always got my finger on the pulse. I know what's going on. The streets talk to me. I hear voices in my head, but it's the streets. Okay. When I got to Long Island, I got closer to the streets of Long Island. And part of that, part of being close to the streets of Long Island is I was able to tap in to the hometown of MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman is from Plainview, which is 20 minutes from where I was staying with my parents. And I listened to the streets. I put my ears to the streets.
Whoa, wait, what are we going? What are you going? Where are you going with
and
this?
I said, I guarantee you within 6 months, I will find out was MJF cool in high school? What's the deal with MJF?
Wow.
Okay. Now, the thing is this, I then had to do what I had to do. I had to leave. I had to go to the beach. Now, I had to take my shot. I saw a shot. I had to take the case, get the title, come to Hawaii. So I became the beach whisperer. I'm not just the street whisperer. I'm also the beach whisperer. But the whispers still got here. It took a little bit longer, but the whispers got to me. And now I'm getting answers. I found out a lot about Maxwell Jacob Friedman's youth, about his childhood, about whether or not he was the man in high school. I've got a lot of info on this guy.
Wow.
I even might have some photographs, okay? I'm not going to debut this stuff on this week's pod. I'm not going to tell you guys the full report that the streets whispered to me.
Okay, wait. Okay. So are you saying that we're going to get an episode of you popping into the podcast and revealing Maxwell Jacob Friedman's, MJF's, high school status?
Full transcript. I'm going to give you the full status of this guy. As you know, high school stats, very important to me. I got a 1510 on my SAT, and I don't shut up about it, okay? I found out was he an A-teamer or a B-teamer? And you know what I mean. Was he the most popular group, second most popular group, not popular at all? What was he into? Was he a huge mark? Did people think it was weird? We don't know. Well, you don't know. I do know. I've spoken to a great number of people through the grapevine, through the streets, and I can tell you this. On the Comedians of Wrestling podcast, maybe it's a bonus ep, maybe it's a future ep. At some point, I will give you guys the full skinny on MJF, what was his deal when he was a kid? What was his deal in high school?
So we're going to get an episode of the podcast at some point called Was MJF Cool in High School?
Correct. And it'll be brought to you by me, the Street Whisperer and the Beach Whisperer.
And are you saying that, I mean, because obviously, I have my issues with you, but what's best for business is best for business, is and MJF we know has been ranking podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's the deal. You know that I am a guy who, whether you like it or you don't like it, you better learn to love it, okay? Because I'm raising the bar of the podcast. I'm raising the profile, and I'm making you guys great content. Calmania 3 was great content, you guys. I got David Arquette booked on the show. I got the podcast mentioned on The Rock's main feed Instagram. And now we may very well get Maxwell Jacob Friedman to listen to the podcast because he better, if he knows what's good for him, because I will be going into a This Is Your Lifestyle evaluation
Wow.
of whether or not he was cool in high school.
Now, is this going to be a Bailey This Is Your Lifestyle or a Foley Rock This Is Your
This
Lifestyle?
is going to be more akin to a Foley Rock. This is
Okay, all right. One of the best, most memorable segments of all time in wrestling.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Yes,
one of the worst segments in wrestling history.
Look, if I had to be perfectly honest, it might be somewhere in the middle. It might be somewhere in the middle. Again, this is a podcast, not a visual medium, so I don't. But all you need to know is this:
you're not gonna say it doesn't matter to your first grade teacher, or
no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is what it's like when you've got Jason Shapiro as the champion. Okay, we do mage things on this pod now.
Oh my God!
I've got another announcement. Okay.
Oh my God!
I've got another announcement for you guys. A lot of you guys are great wrestling fans. You know all about not just the main product on WWE. You know about AEW. You know about the smaller league, the indies. You know about your ROHs or even other stuff. PWG, CZW. You know, you people are well-seasoned, well-versed fans. You're watching the Japanese stuff, okay? You guys know Danhausen. You know all about Donovan Danhausen. What I'm telling you is this. I'm prepared to make Danhausen one of my guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to make him officially locked in as one of my guys. And I'll tell you what, anyone who knows me personally, Dan, Arlen, they know that I was the first guy they ever knew who owned a Bullet Club t-shirt. And why is that? Did I ever watch a Bullet Club match? Absolutely not. But because I'm a street whisperer and I know what's going on in the streets, I could feel something was happening in Japan. I said, this is a big deal. I got to get a t-shirt. And then it became a big, I'm very good at finding the way. I'm a tastemaker. I'm a trendsetter. And I'm telling you, the time is now. Danhausen's star is on the rise. He's doing great work. He's super fucking funny. There's really nothing like this in wrestling right now. It's like horror comedy and just great stuff to watch. If you haven't seen him.
Tulo, have you seen Danhausen live yet, wrestle?
Yeah, he's great.
He's incredible. I haven't seen him live. I've just seen videos. And then he has a bunch of other content. But he was on Conan O'Brien's podcast this week. He's on a bunch of other podcasts this week. The guy's star is on the rise, and I know how to make a guy one of my guys.
The thing I know is his Pee Wee Herman dance.
The tequila. The tequila dance. We love it.
Which I was just watching yesterday.
You ever see his match versus Orange Cassidy? It's amazing.
Yeah, they're so great. I would say that those guys are a very similar slot to me, where they're two guys who can go. They're two guys who can wrestle, but like don't have to get over.
Danhausen's doing big things on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, well, he just got signed to ROH. Right? But here's the deal. I am actually predicting that within 1 year's time, he's actually going to get signed to AEW.
Yeah,
within 1 year now, he'll be in AEW. They're going to bring him up. There's no way they don't because he's too hot. He's too caliente. And that's why, Dan, if you want to get those fireworks ready, I'm making Donovan Danhausen one of my guys.
I like the fireworks.
Wow.
Okay.
Real underwhelming sound effect there. And
is it low for you? It was high for me.
I've also been DMing with him. I'm just saying.
You were DMing with Danhausen.
Look, the blue check mark goes a long way, guys. Okay, I'm verified on Twitter now. Okay, I'm a DM machine. Okay.
All right.
So he might make me one of his guys.
I tell you what, a Danhausen versus Jason Shapiro match would be entertaining.
It's a dream match. It's a dream match everyone's been clamoring for.
Just saying.
Okay. Well, that's I'm watching more Danhausen stuff. I've seen he's very fun. He kind of like the thing is he looks like Finn when he's in the makeup and stuff because he's got he wears like kind of Finn's gear, but he's somehow even smaller than Finn.
He's definitely smaller than Finn.
How small are we gonna go with these wrestlers? You know what I mean? Is there a limit? You're saying is there a limit?
Not
a ceiling, a basement? Is there a basement for that?
Well, here's what I will say about that. Okay, when we were growing up, the baddest boxers on the planet, you think about Mike Tyson, you think about Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, heavyweights. All right, and then nowadays like the biggest boxer. I mean, if you want to even call him that. I mean, actually, I don't know what else you'd possibly call him that. Floyd Mayweather, who's 5'8", 150. Okay, and he's known as like the best boxer of all time. I think it's bullshit. I think it's garbage. But if you're going to go from a heavyweight, walking in the ring at 260 down to a 5'8", 150-pound guy as the big draw, then why can't we get smaller than Finn in wrestling?
I guess we can. We can. All right, let's the guy's name's Anand Verk, right?
Excuse me?
That announcer, Anand.
Oh,
Verk.
yeah.
He's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of Adnan Von work to do.
All right, a couple things I want to still mention. So we are getting the Reigns Cesaro feud, right?
Yeah.
It looks probably at Backlash. Now that we're on the road to WrestleMania Backlash, it looks like we're gonna get a Cesaro Roman match, which is what I was asking for. How do we book that? Do we let Cesaro what do we? No. I mean, it's just
dude. Here's what's gonna happen. Here's exactly what's gonna happen. He's gonna lose. He's gonna look incredible, but he's fighting for the title. You know what I mean? Like, it raises his star to have a title.
He just has to have good showings, but Roman's gonna just beat him clean, right?
Right. There's no way they're gonna have Roman drop the title to Cesaro. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. Hey, Dan. Sorry, man. Your dad is calling me. I think he sent me some pictures, some sonograms. Stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna take this. Actually, I gotta.
All right. Goodbye. It's fine. It's fine with me. I had enough. All right. See ya.
I mean, some of the stuff is pretty racy. I'm seeing some texts and stuff from between the two of these guys. Travis and your father, I'm saying. They're like, really,
okay.
I think he was. I think your dad was involved in some sort of like group scenario over there. It seems like he's in a throuple with Ronda Rousey and Travis Brown.
The swingers?
I don't know what happened here today, but I like it.
All right, well, I'll catch you guys later.
Bye. Matt Riddle beats Randy Orton on Raw.
First of all, I mean, this is the match, right? I mean, like, it's perfect. I mean, stomping on his fucking feet, right? Like, it's perfect. Randy Orton is going to beat the absolute fucking shit out of Matt Riddle. This guy is going to... They're just going to run him through all the vets, and they're all going to get a chance to beat the shit out of this fucking kid, man, and he's done.
And then he's done? What do you mean?
No, they'll probably shelve him for a while.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the vibe I get, like always getting this push, and then once Randy's done with him, where do you go after losing to Randy? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because I guess he beat him with like a roll up, so I'm like, I guess that maybe they go into this Backlash paper, give the Riddle a match there.
I mean, yeah, and I just love the fact that Randy's like, I don't even know who he is, like what's his name, whatever his name is, like and then he's complaining to Pierce about the respect thing. It's all they're bringing his real life heat, which is Riddle's heat, to the forefront, and they're making a story out of it. It kind of it works. It just works.
So, did you say that Charlotte? She got fined. They said she got fined $100,000, right?
Suspended and fined $100,000, and she's on a boat with Andrade now.
Right, I saw that. She's getting some work done again.
I heard dental work. That was the.
Maybe she got her tooth fucked up. But she she hasn't even wrestled, right?
Yeah, she just wrestled on Monday.
Oh, she wrestled Asuka, right. No. She wrestled Asuka on Monday. That's good. So, right. They're trying to. They'll probably. Do you think we see a triple threat at Backlash?
Yeah,
just to slow play the inevitable Charlotte Rhea feud.
Yeah, I see a triple threat at Backlash. I mean, it would. Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that really makes sense, unless they go Asuka versus Charlotte at Backlash, and then move Charlotte versus Rhea down the line a little bit.
All right. Well, whatever. The bottom line here is, look, we're they're going for Drew, Bobby Lashley again, which we didn't really care about.
Here's one thing I want to share.
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
should not start off the show with his entrance and then re-enter again later.
Yeah, why did he do the sword?
Start in the fucking ring. Just start in the ring.
Why is he doing the sword to cut a promo?
Twice.
Just to kill time, maybe?
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean...
It should be like you bring the sword out when you're going to war, not cut a promo.
Yeah. And he gets double the flames and double the fucking fireworks each time. Like, it's like crazy.
Yeah,
it makes
agree.
no sense. There's no logic to that show at all.
No, I totally agree. I don't know. I was kind of weird, but I mean, I don't know. You know, Bobby Lashley's
it feels,
just like,
honestly,
we didn't even see the Bobby on Monday, right?
I don't think we did. No, because MVP came out. And the other thing is that they had Rhea versus Asuka booked on Monday, and they changed that to Charlotte versus Asuka.
Right.
And then they also said Drew's going to confront MVP, and MVP came out and just cut off Drew's link. So I don't even know what the fuck they're doing there. I mean, like, honestly, it's wild. Like, it's becoming, like, listen, it's still wrestling. It's on. There's some good stuff happening still. But, like, they need to fucking make a change quick. It feels like Vince is just completely off his rocker.
Yeah, I listen. It's post WrestleMania. They're figuring out the way I watch after WrestleMania is like, all right, they're gonna have some feuds that you're just not gonna care about at all, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them will be. What I'm saying is that they go through Mania, which is fine. But like, we didn't care about Lashley Drew before Mania, so now that's gonna keep going. So it's gonna be hard to care about that, right?
Yeah.
Right or wrong? Like, I don't think anyone cares about that. And it's just a bad zone for Drew because you want him to be in matches you care about, but I don't even know what those exactly are right now. But it's fine. It's just
there's
for right
only
now.
There's only one answer. They got to get rid of the brand split.
The brand split is just so sucky.
The brand split is
so bad.
They got to get rid of it. There's no reason why it's so
sucky.
It's so sucky. One men's tag title, one women's tag title. You can make one women's title, one mid-card women's title, and then the same thing, like, and then just combine the men's titles. Like, honestly, it's enough is enough. Like, this shit makes no sense. Like,
right,
I should be seeing Roman on Raw and SmackDown every week.
Yeah,
every single week. Monday and Friday. I should
so
only
weird
be
when,
getting
like,
Roman Reigns on my television. Okay, I don't need any of this other bullshit anymore. Like what are we doing?
The Raw after Mania, like, it's weird when the guy who headlines on both shows, which is Bianca and Roman, neither of them are on Raw. It just feels wrong.
It sucked.
Bianca, I didn't like the way they used Bianca on SmackDown either. It was like kind of like a preamble to the Profits match, right?
Yeah, yes and no. So yeah, I kind of liked it because, you know, they're probably just teasing you, but it would be interesting to see if the Profits could get the titles and then the three of them working together. Yeah. I think that would be a nice chemistry. I think that's a really great thing for her to get over as a babyface, is to put her with the Street Profits. I think it's great. I heard Montez's chemistry. Montez is just, and no slight to Dawkins either, because Dawkins is really good, but man, that guy Montez Ford is just so fucking. He's so
very
good.
charismatic. He's very charismatic. And then, like, they had things like, yo, we only wear gold in our house. That was fun. Mm-hmm. That was fun. I just was like, I don't know. It wasn't I just didn't. It felt a little wrestling. It was a little cheese to me. It was, you know.
It's 8:05. Fucking Dynamite's on.
Yeah. Anyway, that's fine. We're gonna get out of here. The most important thing to mention, I think that we said everything. You know, we're in this weird time here, post-Mania, what it is. But the thing I say every year is, like, look for the matchups you wouldn't get during the lead-up to Mania, like when they try and stuff. So, example is the Riddle Orton. That's the fun stuff they do this time. We'll get Roman Cesaro. Like, that's going to be really fun. So, I don't know. I have a blast with that kind of stuff. Yeah, we only have those two right now, really. We don't have...
I mean, them doing the matches, the rematches right after on the shows is so bad. Also, it's just like, man, what an opportunity!
They should just go right into it. Should, like, immediately, like, all right, and the tournament starts right that Raw right after, right?
Yeah, it's something like, it doesn't matter. Like,
and it should all restart because it's just for the health of the product. Like,
what wasn't settled at in the Sammy and Kevin Owens match? Like, what wasn't? He beat him. I mean, what's left?
I know.
You know, so now you're just...
It's hard to care after Mania's over.
Or, like, you know, give Kevin a new opponent, but let Sammy come back out and, like, interfere and be like, I'm not done with you. Okay, that's one way to extend it, you know, like...
Right.
But...
I agree. I mean, I just
they got a lot of work to do.
Structure would help everything. As if they had
so much
a tournament you cared about after. Like, I just think tournaments or something to be like, or now we're restarting. Everybody, like, that's the stuff about AEW I like. Not that they totally nail either, where it's like, because they don't have a WrestleMania, you know? But if they had something in WrestleMania, it'd be like, day one, now everybody's records restart, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like now everyone gets to rebuild. It's like, wow.
It's
it would be
so
awesome
beautiful.
if it was like, man, a guy like Sean Spears, for example, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if he just had like one breakout year where he was just a Cinderella story on fire and his record, you saw it?
It's beautiful. That's what AEW, like, they say the rankings like are stupid, but like, yo, everything going into this week is rankings. You have Ricky Starks versus Ricky Hangman. That's a thing. Hangman's at the top. Ricky says he's won a bunch of matches. He should be in his spot. Yeah, you know, Darby says I want someone in the top 5 of the rankings. They pick Jungle Boy. You have the number 1 contender versus the champion in the women's match. I mean, what are we? The Bucks, like what are we? It's perfect. You go into a show knowing what you're gonna get. They say if you want opportunities, you got to earn wins. So Britt Baker's on Elevation and Dark, just fucking stacking up wins, and now she's number 2 on the rankings again. It's fucking perfect. It makes too much sense. And then on the opposite end, and I won't even put NXT in with it because I really think NXT is a good show, but you have Raw that's just like a horror show. And I feel bad because if anybody's on that show, they got to be so miserable.
Yeah.
Except for Randy Orton.
Totally. All right, let's get out of here. We said it all.
I gotta watch some Dynamite.
Too much, and we're gonna watch Dynamite right now. It's Wednesday. It's only Dynamite's on tonight. Remember?
Yeah, beautiful.
No NXT. And everybody, thanks for listening. Remember, Cal Movie Club will be back next week. There's an episode out right now. If you're at the Cal Zoom Thunderdome level, our next Zoom Thunderdome will be obviously WrestleMania Backlash, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know when that is, but
it's either Backlash or we wait till Double or Nothing.
Balls of great balls of fire, baby. We'll talk about it next week because we'll figure out when that is. But if you're at the Cal Zoom Thunderdome level, you get access to our full archives of the Cal Movie Club, by the way, which is us watching movies with pro wrestlers in them. All those episodes are a blast, and you don't have to watch these movies. We watch them for you. If you like the episode, it's a good impetus to watch the movie. We'll watch a random movie with Edge as a psychologist for you. And just talk about how ridiculous it is. We do a hilarious breakdown of See No Evil 2 with Kane. This movie's terrible. And
that's one I'm definitely just gonna listen to, and I'm not gonna watch the movie.
Don't watch it. But the first See No Evil is actually worth watching. Actually, the one with Kane, that one's actually pretty good. We all kind of like that. It's a pretty fun horror movie. You can check that out. And but the Cal Movie Club is available this season of it for patrons at all levels. All right, everybody, support the podcast. Patreon.com/comedianswrestling, and everybody keep watching wrestling. Kisses. Cheers up.